This is Solid Snake. Hey, subscribe to Pliskin Boy. God damn it.
Once you give your player a suppressed sniper rifle in a video game, it can make them pretty freaking overpowered. Anybody that's played Far Cry 4, 3, or Metal Gear Solid 5 knows that once you get the right suppressed sniper, you make the game a cakewalk. Of course, if we want something to be balanced, we want the sniper rifle to be another tool in your arsenal, not the one weapon that you rely on constantly. But it's hard for developers to counter sniper rifles without including bullshit tactics. So take Halo 2 for example. In that game there, I'm guessing the developers wanted to create more long-range threats, as most of the threats in Halo Combat Evolved were closer range. So they included a sniper-type enemy. However, this sniper-type enemy on harder difficulties could one-shot you. And they had pinpoint accuracy. And there was always like 50 of them. I'm Pliskin, and today we're going to be talking about how to counter the player using the sniper without having to go full Jackal Sniper. The first way you can counter the player utilizing the sniper rifle is by looking at what's immediately wrong with a Jackal Sniper counter. Jackal Snipers are hated for two main reasons. They hit you too fast without warning, and it's an instant kill. So you want to design your counter around being the opposite of this. There's a really good example of this in Halo Combat Evolved. There's a mission called Truth and Reconciliation, in which you as the player have to utilize the sniper rifle in order to get past Covenant patrols on a nighttime desert plateau. Now, while you're doing this, you'll come across these turrets. Now, these turrets, these shade turrets, fire slow but powerful projectiles. They utilize them at far range, so they can hit you even at distances where most enemies cannot. They take a while to hit you, so you get a nice fair telegraph as they travel, and the projectiles trace back to the source of the counter. So the player is still being informed, is still getting chances to fight against this enemy, but there is still something there that can shoot at the player when they're just hanging back and taking out all the grunts, jackals, and elites from ranges that they can't fight back from. The second method that you can use is having sniper-proof enemies. Again, we can look to Halo 1. In Halo 1, you spend most of your time with the sniper rifle, understanding that it can do damage and one-shot, if you're careful enough, most enemies. So halfway through the campaign, when they throw the flood at you, and you try to use the sniper on them to avoid high-tense, close-quarters combat, you realize, oh shit, the sniper does not work on the flood, forcing the player to use other weapons and learn other strategies to combat this new enemy. This keeps the player from feeling too comfortable, and this keeps the sniper from becoming too overpowered. We could also look to Metal Gear Solid 5 for another example of this. You have these heavy juggernaut troopers that are immune to tranq shots fired from a sniper rifle. You can still suppress a 50 BMG and fire at them multiple times to kill them, but it's going to be a hassle and you're probably going to get an alert. So these enemies here make it so that you can't just snipe an entire base like you would in, say, Far Cry 4. The third method that you can utilize is having well-telegraphed snipers that do not insta-kill. Now, Metal Gear Solid 5 is the game that I hold as the gold standard for utilizing enemy snipers fairly. Here, you get plenty of warnings, a laser, a glint, Ocelot telling you that there's a sniper nearby, and once they do see you, the first shot will only stun you. So as long as you're aware of your surroundings and don't let yourself get stunned when other enemies are there to finish you off, you'll be okay even if you get hit. These sniper enemies act as more so supporting enemies rather than the main attraction that turn the game into you just sitting there taking pot shots back and forth. But they still fulfill their role of making sure that you're not the only one that owns long-range encounters. I've brought this up before, and it's kind of cheating because it's not really an enemy sniper, but the jackals in Halo 1 utilize the plasma pistol to send a bolt out that knocks out your shield, and this bolt can travel at really long ranges. So say you are standing perfectly still, taking your time to snipe. If a jackal sees you and fires this bolt, it'll knock you out of the scope, take your shields away, and make you more vulnerable, acting like Metal Gear Solid 5's type of stun and set you up for other enemies type of sniper. The fourth method you can utilize to counter player sniping is by including mortars. Mortars are slow projectiles like we talked about in the beginning, however they have a wide spread of an area. This forces the player to have to move. Now this is featured actually in a lot of games, however it's underpowered. In Far Cry 4, when the enemies get on the mortars, it makes sure that you need to start running around, otherwise you'll get decimated. They'll also charge you and do that sort of thing, but this doesn't happen often enough, and it doesn't change the fact that the player can still walk around the base, point blanking people with suppressed 50 BMG with no stealth consequences. Metal Gear Solid 5 perhaps utilizes this a bit better, although if you're using the Trank Sniper, none of this counts, but if you're using a normal sniper that causes enemies to freak out when they see a friend die, they'll fire a motor up in the air, which can, if it's nighttime, light up an area, making it harder to sneak. They fire a series of motors that can stun you in place, and then they send a search party after you. So I'm not just sitting in one spot sniping, I'm shooting and I'm moving. I'm setting traps for the search party, and I'm trying not to get hit by these motors. It makes it a more engaging style of play, and makes it feel less like I'm overpowered and more like I'm in a fight, in a struggle, and that is fun. The final method is perhaps the laziest, easiest to implement, and is most effective. It's not about creating enemy counters, and it's not about trying to, weaken your sniper. It's recognizing that your sniper is powerful and treating it like a power weapon by giving it ammo scarcity. So I save it for moments where I really need it, rather than just rely on it to get me through a game. Far Cry 2 has a great example of this, with the dart gun. On harder difficulties, I only get 3 darts. They can insta-kill any enemy, no matter where they hit them. However, I only have those 3 shots, so I need to think and strategize. That recognition of when I should use it versus when I should save it makes the experience engaging. Halo also does this by having most of the sniper rifle's appearances having limited ammo, or being certain area centric in different missions, or by having it be a power weapon on the map that you only have a magazine or 2 to utilize before it runs out. So I've been Pliskin, and those are 5 ways you can keep your player from becoming overpowered with a sniper rifle while still being fair. Do you think there's any other ways that I didn't mention? Do you like how most open world games let you run through them once you get the suppressed sniper? Or are you tired of that? Let me know down in the comments below. I've been Pliskin, and I'll see you guys in the next video.